Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Batman Dark Detective. Not only that, but this is the Jokerized version. This is a gold labeled Target exclusive. I found this in my local Target today and was able to cancel my pre-order. This figure is just really cool, and it comes with some extra display accessories. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane toys, ages 12 plus, McFarlane Gold Label Collection. Gold Label Collection simply means and it's an exclusive to a certain retailer. This one is Target. DC Multiverse Batman Dark Detective. You can see the packaging is sort of defaced. Here's Batman in the package. It's the Dark Detective with the trench coat, but he's repainted with Joker colors, white skin, red lips, purple jacket, etc. Looks like he has a display stand and some different various cards and a collector's card. One side of the package, Batman from Dark Detective, DC Future State, and it's crossed out. Ha ha ha, all over it. Other side, Batman Dark Detective. At the bottom, got a bunch of credits, and there's his barcode, if it helps anybody. And on the back side, here's Batman, all defaced and Jokerized. I believe this is going to be the first of many Jokerized figures that McFarlane's going to make. Rumor is Dark Knight Returns is coming, and then Red Robin. So with no further ado, let's open him up. And I did pick up two of these figures, one of which to open and enjoy, and the other one to keep unopened in my complete Batman-related unopened action figure collection. And here are all three variations of the Dark Detective Batman. The first one has the trench coat, the second one is the Jokerized version, Target exclusive, and the third one is the no trench coat, also Target exclusive. Alright, now that we have this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He has a display stand, and it's repainted, not the typical black McFarlane stand. He also has a display base for his collector's card. He comes with the actual collector's card, and then he has 4 different playing cards, all sort of defaced, Jokerized. But before we take a look at those, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So this is Bruce Wayne as he appeared in Future State. Future State is a potential what-if future for Gotham City. Tim Fox, also known as Jace, has taken over as Batman, but Bruce Wayne has returned. He's known as the Dark Detective. But not only that, this is a Jokerized version. Maybe it's infected. I'm not exactly sure what to call it. It just looks pretty freaking cool. It's basically the Dark Detective, but his suit has been defaced, Jokerized, and he has white skin and red lips. So let's take a look. Start with the face here. It looks sick. I love it. Look at that grotesque smile, white skin, white ears. Going further down, of course, he has his trench coat. His is purple. Inside he has a Batman symbol, green, surrounding it. Utility belt, nice pouches, kind of military green pants, double jointed knees, looks like double jointed elbows. Overall, it's a gimmicky figure, but honestly, it's pretty cool. It definitely has the purple and green color scheme going on. A little bit of red in the middle too. And just a closer look at his face and head sculpt. I think it looks good. It's like a sick, twisted, tortured, Jokerized Batman. And I want to give a big shout out to my boy Albert. He's one of my subscribers. He posted a Joker diorama that he made on his Instagram channel. I told him how awesome it was. Then he made this one for me. This thing is fantastic. It's massive and is one of the best pieces of my entire collection. Now let's check out his accessories. And let's start off with the boring stuff. Here's a display stand, although it's not quite as boring as usual. Typically McFarlane includes a pure black display stand. I think this is the first time I've ever seen one repainted in the McFarlane Multiverse line. It's sort of pink, green bat symbol in the middle, one peg for the pegals on his feet. Very thin, very basic. Now for his collector's card and base. Here's his collector's card. As you can see, it's the Dark Detective Batman, but the collector's card is defaced and Jokerized. Batman, Dark Detective, DC Future State. On the backside, there's a description. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause now. And not only that, but we have this display stand for the collector's card, and it's also sort of defaced and Jokerized. DC, sort of a little Joker face there. It's hollow in the back, but it is kind of cool. I've only seen one of the figure come with this, and that was King Shark, gold label Walmart exclusive. Here's the collector's card inserted into the display stand. Here's his display stand, next to the one that came with King Shark, the only other figure that came with one as far as I know. And here's this Dark Detective's collector's card, next to the other two variations. Now let's look at his playing cards. First, we've got the 10 of diamonds. You can see it's got sort of a little present painted on top of it. Ha 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 all over it. Batman's face here. Backside looks like this. This is DC Multiverse. Then we have the King of, I don't know if it's supposed to be a heart, diamond, Batman symbol. Got the King, Batman stuff drawn on top of him, paint splatter, same thing on the back. You have the Queen of maybe clubs, Batman symbol, ha 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 all over it, smiling her, Batman stuff. On the other one, DC Multiverse again. And finally the Ace of, I assume, spades, Joker stuff, Joker smile, ha 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 everywhere. Kind of interesting. Not sure why they chose these specific 10, King, Queen, and Ace. Still, it's kind of cool, although not useful for your action figures at all. Now I was curious if there are any differences, besides the obvious paint differences, between these different Dark Detective Batman figures. And they are 100% the same. Obviously, the paint scheme is considerably different, but even their face here, he's got that growling, sort of frowning face. His is the same, just simply has the red smile painted on top. Paint job, very different on the jacket, the armor, the pants, but not one bit of sculpting difference. Of course, there is a little bit of a sculpting difference between the jacketless version. He's got some different sort of bicep, arm type area. Rest of it's the same too. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, he's standing at about 7.0 inches tall, which can translate to just under 18 centimeters, and if you go to the top of the ears, about 7.2 inches tall. Now let's check out his articulation. Starting with his head here, of course, it can rotate from side to side. He can look up about that far, down, pretty good amount. Can't tilt his head from one side to the other. Shoulders on a ball joint, goes out 90 degrees. Shoulder pad thing here is soft, goes right on top. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He does have the butterfly joint between his shoulder and chest area, increasing range of motion and covering that large gap. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows below that. His wrists, it can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. In his torso, he's got a ball joint, and it's hidden pretty nicely with the armor. Rotate around, forward and back. Another one is waist. Rotate around, forward and back. Waist is pretty tight on mine. Between the two, pretty good range of motion. The waist tight on mine, but torso you don't get a big range of motion on. Legs completely does the splits, not a ball joint. McFarlane style hip joints. Rotation is pretty good in the hip area, which is interesting because he also has a thigh cut below that. Legs go forward about that much. Back, not too much. Double jointed knees below that. They go all the way in. Then his ankle here, forward and back, rotate, tilt, rock, and to articulation. Here are all three of these Dark Detective Batman figures in front of this Joker diorama, match made in heaven. And here's this Dark Detective Jokerized Batman on the Drifter motorcycle. Always thought that was a cool combo. It was a cool combo before with the regular version, and even with the sleeveless version, I did it again. Now let's check them out, next to some other action figures. Starting off with some other Dark Detective and Future State figures. Here he is, next to the original Dark Detective Batman. And here he is, next to the gold label sleeveless variant. Here are all three variations of the Future State Dark Detective Batman. Now, I get the impression this is sort of like an infected Batman. Bruce Wayne, Jokerized, probably going around acting like the Joker. He's defaced, his outfit, the packaging, the collector's card, the playing cards, all that fun stuff. Kind of a cool concept. Now let's check him out, next to some other Future State figures. Here he is, next to the Future State Batman. This is Tim Fox's Batman. In this potential what-if future, Tim Fox has taken over the mantle of the Bat. Bruce Wayne is gone for a long time, but has returned as the Dark Detective. Of course, this Jokerized version is not from the actual Future State comics. And here he is, next to the Future State Superman. who's trapped on Warworld by Mongol on a planet that has no red sun, so he doesn't have his powers and he's forced to fight gladiator style. Then, next to John Kent as Superman from Future State. Typically John Kent is Superboy, but in Future State, he took over the reign of Superman as the actual Superman was trapped. And now, here's this Dark Detective next to Ghostmaker. McFarlane labeled Ghostmaker as a Future State figure, but I'm pretty confident that was an error. I don't believe he was in Future State in any way, shape, or form. Now let's check him out next to some other Jokerized or infected figures. Here he is, next to the infected Superman. He was from a Superman Batman comic where he pretended to be infected by the Batman Who Laughs. And here, next to the infected Shazam, who's from the same storyline. Then, next to the infected Nightwing from Death of the Family. Now let's check him out next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to some more gold-labeled Target exclusive releases. We have Impulse and Deadman, and then the Flashpoint, Aquaman, and Superman. And here he is, next to some recent Walmart exclusive gold label figures. We have both the Vampire, Batman, and Joker, and then Eradicator and Beast Boy. Then, next to the Shazam, Fury of the Gods, Wonder Woman, and Shazam. And now, next to the two most recent McFarlane Mega figures, Calabac and Fulcrum Abominus. Here's this Dark Detective, next to the Arkham City Riddler, and the Arkham Knight Earth 2 Batman skin. And here he is, next to the fourth wave of Page Punchers. This is an Aquaman wave. We have Aquaman, Aqualad, Ocean Master, and Black Manta. Then, next to the Titans wave, Collective Build Beast Boy. And now, next to the Dark Knight Trilogy wave, Collective Build Bane from the Dark Knight Rises. Here's this Batman, next to the McFarlane Toy Store exclusive Kyle Rayner Blue Lantern, and the Amazon exclusive Tim Drake Robin. And here, next to the Kingdom Come Armored Batman, and the Dark Knight's Metal Gladiator Batman. Then, next to the Con-El Superboy, Duke Thomas the Signal, and both versions of the Jay Garrick Flash. And now, next most recent Batman wave, we have the Hush Batman, both versions of the Nightfall Catwoman, both versions of the Mr. Freeze, and Infinite Frontier Joker. And finally, next to the Amazon exclusive Batman Family 5-pack. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you'll know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane toy, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work my smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. Then, next to some more McFarlane Toys, these are from different various video game properties. And now, next to some Jack-specific wrestling figures, here's this Batman, next to a couple of Target receipts. And here he is, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here he is, standing next to some NECA figures. Then, next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, next to some Jazzwares AEW wrestlers. And here he is, next to some Mezco 112 collective figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here he is, next to some Mayfax figures. Then, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, it was a pretty cool figure. The original Dark Detective was cool, but I'm not a huge fan of what if, potential future, different people's Batman type stories. Still, the figure was cool, well done. This figure is very gimmicky, it's repainted, complete reuse, but he's just cool. The infected Batman, the smile on his face, the color scheme, it's all just fun. His articulation's pretty good. Accessories, well, action figure accessories are non-existent. Sculpt and paint job are excellent, no issues there. If I were to rate this guy, I'm going to give him a 7.5 out of 10, mostly because of the fun factor. If it weren't for that, he'd probably be a 6.5. But he's just fun. It's a cool figure. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.